Hey everyone, welcome to Candidate Spotlight. Today we have with us Sourajit Chowdhury, who is contesting for the position of General Secretary Cultural Board. Hi Sourajit. So
Hi.
round one of questions will be based on your agendas.
Okay.
First question is, you plan to integrate live broadcasting of the Inter-IIT Cultural Meet via CBS. Since live broadcasting entails considerable licensing and logistical complexities, what is your strategy for managing these challenges and ensuring all necessary permissions are secured?
There's a few ways to go about this. I've spoken to a few licensing companies, and this will be a little bit difficult, and we are still in talk about how we would go about licensing this. But there's always a backup option for this. We can develop an app. I've spoken to the SWC team about this, that for the Inter-IT specifically, we can develop an app and live stream it there so that only a set few number of people can access these videos. And this can be used, and this will be pretty helpful for avoiding dirty plays during contentions.
Your next question is, you mentioned conducting an infrastructure audit of venues. What specific parameters would you evaluate during such an audit to ensure venues meet the standards required for Inter-IT hosting?
Specific parameters for venues would be, for example, let's say auditorium, lighting. That could be one parameter for that. How well the stage is set, or if it's broken, whether it is broken. Are the green rooms fine for, let's say, OAT? After the OAT is formed this year, is the green room fine? Is there space for lighting? Is there any other bottlenecks that could hamper the Inter-IT? Even factors like rain that could hamper Inter-IT performances. These parameters would be checked, and we would take measures accordingly to fix these issues.
On to the next question. You have proposed a structured schedule for workshops featuring industry professionals. What criteria would you use to identify and invite industry professionals to conduct workshops relevant to student clubs? What is your realistic timeline for conducting these workshops?
There's two parts to this question, I believe. The first part is what
Criteria would you use?
What criteria would I use to select these industry professionals? This heavily depends on the cup mentor and the specific module that the cup mentor believes that their club needs working on. You can think of it in a way that, suppose as a part of Octaves, if I'm the cup mentor of Octaves and I believe that my club is not that strong in composing a song, then I would invite a guest that specializes in that domain. For example, music composition or composition of leads for a guitarist, and domains like that, and the cup mentor would have more detailed idea about what guests to invite, and he'll have more better idea of who's the right connection for this. At the same time, they would also be scouting for judges when it comes to looking for people. That's the answer to the first part of the question. Can you repeat what the second part was?
What is your realistic timeline for conducting these workshops?
Okay, so last tenure, as in this tenure, we had Inter-IT boot camp during October and September and October, around that time. And I believe that instead of this, clubs should focus on training their second years and their third years and their, respective Inter-IT teams that they believe would go to Inter-IT. So these workshops will be fit in those 2 months specifically, which is September and October. And alongside this, we can simultaneously plan for recruiting new freshers as well through these workshops.
On to the next question. As CBS is an item on your agenda, what are the primary reasons for its current inaccessibility and underuse, and what mechanisms would you put in place to ensure that other boards consistently collaborate and provide content for broadcasting?
Inaccessibility is there right now because there's no point of contact. There's no official point of contact within CBS. If you want to get through to CBS, you have to speak to the General Secretary of the Cultural Board. That's the only point of contact that's there right now. Else, what you could do is just contact people that you know are there in CBS. What I'm doing is introducing an official position so that every board can know that there's this person who is an overall coordinator for CBS, and they're responsible for collaborating with every other board, with every other club, with whoever wants to access CBS.
Next question. At the end of your tenure, what is one measurable change in IIT Guwahati's cultural ecosystem that you want students to clearly notice?
I suppose the answer, there could be many answers that I could say for this, but I personally believe that this year media will be scaled up to a new level. Through CBS, through the help of CBS, we will definitely scale campus media in general to how it was back then when CBS was at its peak. And I will make sure that I will leave CBS at that level so that our next generation can continue it further and use it to their better.
Next question. What is one structural problem in the current cultural ecosystem of IIT Guwahati that you believe previous cultural secretaries failed to address, and how will you solve it differently?
What is one structural problem in
Current cultural ecosystem of IIT?
Okay, one thing that has struck me quite a bit is that we need to address festival communities better. I believe that all the festival communities should have the proper structure and the proper support, logistical support, equipment support, and all of these that they deserve. At the same time, simultaneously, we as a cultural board, a lot of people need equipments a lot of times, and they have nobody to actually guide them as to where they could get this equipment from. So what I believe that we can do is support festival communities better through actually developing an equipment inventory that people can borrow. Something along the lines of issuing equipments. Right.
Moving on to the rapid fire round.
All right.
What is the name of DepSoc Kala event?
Akriti, I think.
How many cup mentors were introduced this year?
Every club had their own cup mentor.
What are the updated fest fees for continuing students, and what is the fee for first year students?
For continuing, it's 800, and for incoming new students, I think it's 1300.
Total number of modules in Manthan?
I don't know. Total number of modules or cups?
Modules.
I don't know.
Under which board does the CBS operate?
Currently tech and cult both.
List the names of the 4 themed nights of Alcheringa.
The 4 themes?
4 themed nights
The
of
4
Alcheringa.
themed nights. Crescendo. Crescendo, that is the main pro night. Blitzkreig, which is the DJ night. Saaz, which is the cultural night. And there's one more, which is... I think we should move to the... I forgot the last one.
What was the total number of cups and modules in Inter-IIT 8.2?
Cups is 13. It was 12 up until last year, but we changed it to 13 this year. And the total number of events, I think, is 50.
Who are the members of Cultural Board Council?
All the members of the Cultural Board Council?
Yeah.
Should I name all the positions?
Just positions.
Can I ask for one specification? Are you talking about the core team of the Cultural Board?
Not just core team, in the Cultural Board Council overall. Who are the members?
Other than the GenSec, starting with the GenSec, we have overall coordinator, events head, finance head, marketing, not marketing, PR, the PR head, media head, design head, Inter-IIT coordinator, and Inter-IIT contingent leader.
Your role includes managing Fest. Could you state the total number of Gymkhana PORs currently associated with Alcheringa and the number of PORs associated with Spicmacay?
I'll start with Alcheringa. I believe the number of Gymkhana PORs is... I believe it's 18. Do I need to list it down?
No, it just has the number.
I believe it's 18 in Alcheringa. And in Spicmacay, it is, there are 10 heads, but a few of those heads have 2 people. So, but there are 10 heads in total in Spicmacay.
Okay, that's all for the questions. All the best for the elections.
Thank you.